Hello everyone, welcome back to Python 101, and today we'll be on week 7, part 1. So, today we're mainly going to do problems, and yeah, because we haven't done problems in a long time. So, the first problem is going to be a line info finder. So basically we're going to find this M stands for slope and the D is distance. Okay, so these are the formulas. And we're going to create a class which includes a distance and slope method. And we're going to enter the coordinates 1 and 2. If it's going to run correctly, it's going to return the slope, and or we could choose to find the distance. So let's go to the Jupyter Notebook. And here we are. So oh, okay, so I'm going to rename it. All right, so we're going to create a class. We're going to call it line. And then here we're going to put object. We're going to define, and we're going to use the init method. Oops. We're going to do self because we need the self for everything. And we need coordinate 1 and coordinate 2. And then don't forget the column. What we're going to do is we're going to self dot coordinate 1 is equal to coordinate 1. And I could just copy and paste that. And change the numbers. So now we're going to define another method, which is the distance method. What we're going to do is, so remember the distance method is square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we're going to do x1 comma y1 because these are the coordinate of the Cartesian plane self dot core 1. And so we're basically defining what coordinate 1 is, and here's going to be coordinate 2. All right, now we're going to return the distance formula. So we're basically going to return so it's going to be square rooted and we're going to x2 minus x1. We're going to square that, and then we're going to add that to y2 minus y1. And we're going to square, oh, no, don't do we need 2 of those. And that's basically the distance formula. Now we're going to define, it's a bit close together. We're going to define the slope. So slope that's self. And then we're going to do the same thing for here. Just copy and paste. So that basically defines it. And we're going to return y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that should be good if I didn't type anything wrong. All right, we're going to run that. we're gonna give an instance. So line equal line coordinate 1, coordinate 2, and let's define the coordinates first. So coordinate 1 equals 4, 5, and coordinate equals 6, 7. All right, so we're gonna, oops, I forgot to capitalize this. Hold on. There we go. Okay, always forget to I always forgot to capitalize this because it's capitalized here, so you should always capitalize here. And now we could just find it. Line, we're gonna tab. Oh, line dot tab, and you can do distance and I forgot to. Okay, there we go. And that's basically the distance. Line dot slope and they should add it by themselves. Okay, so the slope is 1 because 7 minus 5 is 2 and 6 over 4 minus 4 is 2. All right, so on to the next problem. So now we're gonna find things about the cube. So we're gonna make a class that finds the volume and surface area of a cube. Given the, I spelled given, it's like half the n. Just pretend there's a line here. And include the volume and surface area as methods. So the volume is basically the side length times 10 to the power of 3. And the surface area is just 6 times s squared, 6s squared. Yeah, because there's 6 sides on a cube and each side is s squared. All right, so onto that, we're gonna create some space. All right, we're gonna call it class cube. And I think we did this last time for homework. You guys did this for homework. So just pretend this is review. All right, so we're gonna use the init method and okay, there's the self, and then there's gonna be side. So that's gonna be it. So self dot side equals side. We're gonna define volume and let's make some space here. We're gonna return self dot height. No, not self dot height. Self dot side, because I usually refer to the length as height. So it's actually a side or leg. Let's call it side for this one. Self dot side to the power of 3. So that's the volume. And we're gonna define surface area. We're gonna define self. Oh, I accidentally and shift entered. And let me just get rid of this. It looks bad. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna return. Well, it's 6 times s to the squared. 6 times side. That should be good. We're gonna call its instance, and cube. So its side length is gonna be 3. And we're gonna see dot volume or surface area first. Don't forget the parentheses. And oh, we forgot to define this as 1 first. Name side is not defined. Self dot side equals self. What the heck? What do you mean? What do you mean? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a class for cube, and it's gonna be self. All right, so what we're gonna do, is we're gonna create a class for cube, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna define the init method first, and we're gonna self, and there's gonna be side. But first we're gonna set the side to 1 as a default, and we're gonna do self.side equals side, and now we're gonna do surface area. So surface area, oops, we're gonna define surface area. Oh, it's gonna be self, and what we're gonna return is we're gonna read self dot side to the power of 2, and we're gonna do 6 times, and that should be good. And now we're gonna define volume. So volume, we're gonna do self, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna return self.side. So remember that here, whenever you want to put this equation, don't just put side, because a lot of people make that mistake and they're like, wait, what's happening? I did it all right. So like they forgot to put self in there. All right, so now we're gonna do that to the power of 3. So this should be good. And now I'm gonna call its instance. And the side length is gonna be 5. I'm gonna run that. And now we can just do C dot surface area, and don't forget the parentheses, you get 150. No surprise. And now we're gonna do C dot tab volume 125. All right, so for homework, you're gonna make a class about cylinder, and you're gonna do the same thing, except here you're gonna add radius and you're gonna do height and radius. And here, for the line, instead of a line, well, you're just gonna make a line, but you can just use this code and you can try to figure out what's going on here. So this is basically you don't need parentheses. This is basically the coordinate. And that's it for today. Thank you for attending my lecture, and I'll see you next week. Have a nice day.